Welcome back to Unlocked, and today I have on Chase.
Why do you say it like that?
Because that's our relationship.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so what are you going to offer today?
What do you mean? I always offer whatever.
Chase,
I need
you
to.
don't talk about anything in your life.
Savannah, we have given enough of our lives to everybody else. I don't feel like we need to give every piece of our life away.
Well, why not?
Especially not for free, which I'm not getting paid to be here.
I mean, I do, so I spill.
Yeah.
I spill all the tea.
What tea would you like to spill?
Stop hitting the chair. Is
What
this your first time?
I don't know.
Why are you nervous?
I'm not nervous.
What are you running from?
I'm not running from anything. I'm ready for anything that comes.
You're real fidgety over there.
Savannah, you should know I'm not nervous. I could give a less.
Okay, so what? Why are you looking at me like that? I wish you would just talk.
About what?
Just your life. Give people updates on your life. Let people in.
But Savannah, why?
Because it makes me money.
Oh, okay. So I'm glad to see it's about my mental health.
Okay, well, your mental health was gone a long time ago.
Well, I'm trying to rebuild it.
Well, it's
trying to build it back.
too long. So you need to figure something out.
That ain't the pot calling the kettle black.
Hey, I'm over here. I'm thriving.
Are you?
I'm thriving. I'm thriving. I'm finding me a new person to come and clean. I do have to do that.
You're finding a what?
A new person to come clean for me. Because Grayson and Chloe and myself, that's just a lot. With everything else that I'm doing. But
I just got back from seeing Dad. That was a long visit.
I know.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
That's freaking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing that. I was recouping from my trip that I went on that was outrageous. And I did not get paid enough.
Oh, shit.
I did.
Yeah. Can you talk about that?
I can't talk about what exactly it was that I did, but let's just say that the world is going to get to see me puking for a solid 2 minutes on national television.
Ew.
Yeah, it's not good. I did not get paid.
I knew that once I read up on it, I knew that you were done when there was a mention of swimming. Because Savannah is the worst swimmer in our entire family. Chloe cannot swim. Savannah.
Okay, that's not true.
Savannah, you cannot swim.
I'm not a great swimmer,
You're
but I
awful.
can swim.
You can swim from this side of the pool to that side of the pool, but if you've got to swim a distance, you're done.
Well, first off, it was winter time where I was, and the water was ice filled. So that's brutal.
You knew what you were signing up for, though.
Yeah, I know, but let's just say.
Were you gonna have to do it clothed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like with boots on and
Yeah.
stuff?
It was.
You would have drowned.
It was not
Savannah,
good.
you would have drowned.
Chase, they literally got me projectile vomiting.
But that's because you couldn't have your medicine.
Yeah, they didn't give me my prescribed medication, and it was just all really, really bad. So people are gonna get to see that on a TV soon.
Do you think I could have made it as far?
No, you wouldn't have made it.
Savannah.
You would not have made it as far as me.
That's bull.
You would not have made it as far as me.
You don't think so?
No, not at all.
Do they scream in your face?
Yeah.
Do they touch you?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know if I would have made
Yeah,
that.
it was very brutal what I just did, but I am home, and that jet lag was brutal.
I know.
Like,
You were brutal to deal with while you were dealing with the jet lag.
my days and nights were mixed up. It was bad. It was really bad. But it's fine. I'm home. I'm recouped. You went and saw Dad.
I did.
And you got to hear about the cluster of everything going on at his facility.
It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare. It's awful. Mom also, that whole thing is insane.
Now they both have no air.
Yeah, so
No air conditioning. They both live in states, or they're both in states where it gets 100+ degrees and there's no air conditioning.
And Mom has rattlesnakes just casually slithering on the floor in front of her.
They weren't rattlesnakes.
They weren't. No.
They were They were poisonous. It was a poisonous snake. I don't know if it was a moccasin or...
Yeah, so she just had snakes literally right there where her bed is.
And then the way they think to apprehend a snake is to mace it.
Unbelievable. That to me is an issue.
No shit. There's no reason why anyone... There's people that... I don't care if you've killed somebody. If you're in a government facility, you should have air conditioning.
Yeah, that's just
ridiculous.
Well, air conditioning is just the least of it. I mean, air conditioning is the least of it. Whenever you've got black mold, asbestos, lead-based paint, snakes, and also one thing I don't agree with
it's not fear factor.
Well, I mean, Chase, it is prison, so we're not going to sit here and act like it should be the Four Seasons because
I know that, but at the end of the day, it's my parents, so I don't want them, and I don't expect anybody else to feel bad for them. But
I get that, but when people listen to this, again, it's prison, so people don't have any sympathy for it.
Yeah, I know, I get that.
And so people don't want them.
Well, they don't have any sympathy until they're in this situation. Exactly. It's their loved one.
Exactly. So when your loved one's sitting there, literally having a heat stroke and ending up in a hospital or not being fed properly, and
it pisses you off.
Of course it does, and it's awful. And the fact that now we have the director of the BOP going around and doing visits to these facilities, but the facilities are notified of when she is coming, that's also an issue. Because these facilities now have time to go and hide everything they need hidden.
Not fix the problem, just temporarily hide it so no one sees it. Yeah.
Exactly, because that's all that's happening is these prisons are being notified of when the director is coming, so now they have time to scramble and fix all of their mess-ups just temporarily, just put a Band-Aid on it.
But that's the thing, and that's why I have faith that it's all going to come to light, because they are not fixing it. They're temporarily hiding it.
Exactly. And what's so sad is these people who are speaking out about it or want to speak out about it are being retaliated against. Mm-hmm. And it's just wrong. I mean, there are some things that are going to come to light that are disgusting. It will leave people speechless about the things that go on in these facilities. And I'm ready for that day to come, but
it's coming.
It'll happen in its own timing. And it's just crazy to sit and watch mom and dad go through that. But luckily, they have the fight in them to...
They're strong.
Exactly.
And they've remained loyal to each other. They love each other.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, like, that's the biggest organized crime that I've ever seen is the government.
Well,
and owning and operating places like this to where it's making money for them, but it's literally putting people's lives in danger from the conditions.
Oh, 100%. I mean, the conditions are awful, and it's sad. It breaks my heart, but again, things will be revealed when it's time, and the information that has come to me is astonishing.
In boatloads.
Literally, in boatloads that have been mailed, emailed, direct messaged. I mean...
phone calls.
It's crazy. The amount of no caller ID calls that I get, insane. But it's just that whole thing, because everyone always wants an update on how mom and dad are doing. And they're doing fine.
They're doing as good as they can,
exactly.
I guess.
They're doing fine with what they're given. Like, they're getting by, but it's...
But my parents or our parents, they're very, very strong individuals.
Well, yeah,
and they were not built to break, and this damn sure is not going to break them.
No, and too, these tabloid stories that are coming out that I find to be laughable, that come out that say that they're just, they're falling apart. They have no faith. They, feel so guilty for what they've done. All of that is bullshit. It's
Bullshit.
all a complete lie. And it's being fed to benefit other people. And it's just not right. It is so false. The narrative that we give is the truth. And that truth is that they are in inhumane conditions. But while in inhumane conditions, they're keeping their sanity.
They're keeping their faith.
They're putting one foot in front of the other. Mm-hmm. So they're not giving up. There is no admission of guilt. They have, since the beginning,
They've always said that they are innocent.
Exactly. They have always said that they're innocent, that they have not done these things, and they will stick to that. So all of those things are a complete lie. We've entered into, we have had some new legal counsel that has entered into the game. And I think that it is going to be, we're doing everything that we possibly can to fight this appeal, because we know that the government
plays very dirty.
Yeah, the government plays dirty, and it's unfortunate. I grew up, it's funny, I said, like, growing up in the South, you're taught, you love our country. You respect our country. It's the greatest nation on earth. It's you die for our country. Mm-hmm. It's just, you grow up in the South. That's what it is. It's like, God bless America. But after going through what we've gone through, it's so sad because it puts such a bad taste in our mouth mm-hmm. about the country that we live in. And it's sad because it is. It's just, when the government wants you, they want you, and they will do whatever it takes in order to get what they want.
Yeah.
And
there's so many personal vendettas that have been involved in this entire thing. I mean, It's just messy.
It is. It's extremely messy. And we've put a link to a website to where people can access all of these records. They can access the appeal. They can access the Office of Inspector General's report mm-hmm. that was done in Georgia that states all of the illegal activity that was done by the government, that the Office of Inspector General stated that the Georgia Department of Revenue had basically accused our family of terrorism and money laundering in order to obtain financial records. And it shows these things. And I think what's so sad is it's so hard for the everyday person to find this information. Mm-hmm. It's so hard for them to access it, to educate themselves, because it's not made easy. Yeah. So there'll be a link to where people can go and educate themselves on the appeal. They can read through it all, the Office of Inspector General's report, and all these different things. And I think at this point, that's the only thing we can do. We have to make it easy for people to educate themselves. Mm-hmm. Because I say, hey, if you want to convict them, but convict them on the truth.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Well, if the truth was out there, they would not have been convicted.
Exactly.
So, yeah. That's your whole point.
That's my whole point. And so, let's see. I'm going to find a letter. So I've started working on a letter that's going to go to all U.S. senators. And it points out a lot of things that really went wrong in our case. So in this letter, I state that obviously people go to the hundreds of letters are received mm-hmm. every day of people begging for help. Never in a million years do I think we would be in this position. And so in this letter, I'll just say, for instance, this letter is directed to Senator Scott. And I say, I'm sure that your office receives hundreds, perhaps thousands of letters a month, all different types of requests for help and assistance. I never imagined I would become one of those who's desperately reaching out for help, but I'm indeed in desperate need of help. Last night, I sat eating dinner with my brother and sister and as we were eating, we were watching the hearings on the corruption being exposed within the FBI. Despite the fact that I've told my family and siblings that I'm doing everything in my power to get our parents home, I realized that I needed to take another step and began pursuing help from anyone and anywhere that I can find a captive audience and someone who's willing to just listen. I need to be heard. My family needs to be heard. My siblings who ask me every day, when are mom and dad going to come home? They need to be heard. So I'm turning to you now and asking you to please read this letter with an open mind. If even one piece of this information strikes you as government overreach, I ask that you please contact me and let me provide you with the actual evidence that substantiates my claims. Please let me show you what's happened to my family. I'm hoping that through that process, maybe we can undo this injustice and bring my family home. We live in America, the greatest nation on earth, a nation that prioritizes freedom, liberty, and justice for all. I believe personally in justice. I'm not in any way trying to get preferential treatment or a free pass for my parents. If the government can honestly and ethically prove their case, then I will absolutely accept that outcome. But that is absolutely not what has happened. Our case, our trial, and our entire experience with the Justice Department has been riddled with errors and inconsistencies. At every turn, the blindfolds of justice that we're supposed to protect were allowed to be lifted. Instead of facts being presented as the basis of the prosecution, our family name was highlighted as an attempt to arouse and alarm the jury. And then I go into some other things that were found actually in the court transcripts and remarks that were made to the jury in order to prejudice them against us. And I state, why use those words? That isn't evidence. That isn't about presenting facts or providing members of the jury with actual documentation or reliable information. These are just remarks intended to create a strong, negative, emotional response that would taint the jury and prejudice them against my family. Why? Why, if their case was so strong, why go to such great lengths to create an emotional reaction versus a logical one?
Mm-hmm.
And
that's true. I mean,
and it's so hard because I want to quote what was said, but we live in such a society that is so quick to cancel that it's so hard because what I'm stating is facts. And so my thing is,
well, all of the new legal representation that has come aboard, they've all said that we were from the moment that we walked in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that it didn't matter. This was 100%. I mean,
yeah. It's unfortunate because, like I said, that statement was used to alarm the jury and
to hit a nerve.
Yeah, it was used to create an emotional response.
100%.
When that should have never been allowed.
Most of those people, the moment they heard that was it for them. It didn't matter what they heard after that.
Exactly. 100%.
Which is not that's not justice.
And it's not right.
This episode of Unlocked is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Most of you listening right now are probably multitasking. Yep, while you're listening to me talk, you're probably also driving, cleaning, exercising, or maybe even grocery shopping. But if you're not in some kind of moving vehicle, there's something else you can be doing right now. Getting an auto quote from Progressive Insurance. It's easy and you could save money by doing it right from your phone. Drivers who save by switching to Progressive save nearly $700 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Discounts for having multiple vehicles on your policy, being a homeowner, and more. So just like your favorite podcast, Progressive will be with you 24/7, 365 days a year. So you're protected no matter what. Multitask right now. Quote your car insurance at pxl.to to join the over 29 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, national average 12-month savings of $698 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June of 2021 and May of 2022. Potential savings will vary, discounts not available in all states and situations. All right, guys, I'm obsessed with Rocket Money. I've spoken about this app before, and I'm even more obsessed now than I was the first time. I have become very conscious of my spending habits in the past few months, especially with 2 kids. I'm trying to teach them how to become more conscious of it. And Rocket Money makes it so easy. I mean, I have saved hundreds of dollars a month just by using Rocket Money. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. Rocket Money also helps you to manage all your finances in one place by automatically categorizing your expenses so you can easily track your budget in real time and also get alerted if anything looks off. I mean, over 3 million people have used Rocket Money, saving the average person up to $720 a year. That's insane. I am obsessed with Rocket Money, and I hope that you guys will jump on the train with me. Stop throwing away your money, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Savannah. That's rocketmoney.com/Savannah.
And in this, I do say I fully and completely believe that it's because the attorneys working for the government on this case were so blind to the facts and were after my parents because of the notoriety it brought them in their office. Mm-hmm. The case was a career advancer, but that's not about justice, and this is not the way that our country is supposed to operate. I do not want to offer you sensational statements and try to do what the government did to our family. I want to briefly provide you with facts that outline and prove that what I'm stating is both accurate and true. Mm-hmm. And I go into Mark Braddock and Betty Carter and how
2 of the biggest liars on the face of the planet.
It's the whole thing is just so unfortunate. And I go in, this is a 6-page letter that I'm going to be sending to every single U.S. senator, because I say that what happened is not justice for all. And I say, let's see, because a lot of people don't realize all the corrupt things that went on.
No, and a lot of people have their minds made up. They're with us or they're against us.
Exactly. Let's see, because there was the illegal seizure of the warehouse, and I say,
which allowed documents in that should never have been in.
Yeah, it should have never been allowed in.
Well, one judge agreed that it was not supposed to be in, and then another one allowed it.
So one of the big things in the case is, so we talk about, obviously, a government's key witness lying on the stand. So we talk about that. And then I say, is this America? Is this how we do justice in this country? Hiding the facts in order to sway the jury to an outcome we desire. Shouldn't the truth be presented without prejudice? Shouldn't we prioritize the facts above all? Isn't it the responsibility of the prosecutors and agents of the court to ethically present the truth and let the jury decide on the outcome based on those facts? This is not the only major issue within my parents' case. In 2014, the then chief criminal investigator of the Georgia Department of Revenue began taking an unusual interest in my father, Todd Chrisley. This man, who I'm not going to state his name because he loves to get Sue happy, but this man had a picture of my dad on a dartboard in his office, initiated and led a warrantless search of a locked warehouse where my parents stored personal items. This man arrived at the warehouse with his police lights flashing, although he later told fellow Department of Revenue officers to lie by telling people he had not been there. This is absolutely a statement of fact. It is both accurate and provable within the court transcripts, and I can provide you with the exact documentation. With no warrant, this rogue group displayed a piece of paper to the manager at the warehouse and demanded entry inside. When the manager initially refused, they threatened the manager with arrest. Again, I can provide proof of these statements. Based on these threats, the Department of Revenue officers forced their way into the warehouse and hauled off its contents. The seized items included massive amounts of furniture, personal property, and about 20 boxes containing documents. Before a court could order the return of my parents' belongings, the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office met with the Georgia Department of Revenue to discuss how best to transfer the illegally obtained records to federal agents. They decided to obtain federal search warrants, allowing them to seize my family's property from the Department of Revenue's possession. IRS Special Agent Larry Arrow then received the materials seized from the illegal warehouse search. Shortly after, Arrow sought and obtained a federal search warrant for my parents' personal emails held by American Online and Google, AOL. Federal agents also issued subpoenas for various other records based on what they had seen in those documents. Long before trial, we filed 2 motions to suppress evidence relating to the warehouse documents and the emails obtained from AOL and Google, each raising separate and distinct grounds for relief. The first motion asked the court to suppress the documents and records seized at the warehouse, along with all evidence derived from them. After a 2-day evidentiary hearing on the separate motions, Magistrate Judge Justin Anon entered a report and recommendation on each motion. The magistrate judge determined that the district court should exclude all documents and materials seized at the warehouse and all documents and materials derived from the illegal search. Thus, the court's ultimate suppression ruling on the warehouse motion extended beyond the physical documents seized from the warehouse. It suppressed all information, documents, and records the government obtained that flowed from information it learned because of the illegal search. At the final pretrial hearing before the magistrate judge, the government suggested that it might have independent sources for some evidence linked to the warehouse search, including specifically digital copies of some of the documents found there. In response, we filed a motion to require the United States to establish admissibility of suppressed evidence. This motion specified 5 categories of evidence that derived from information the Georgia Department of Revenue illegally obtained at the warehouse. These categories included not only the results of AOL and Google search warrants, but also information the FBI and IRS obtained after looking at the warehouse documents. The question this motion posed to the district court was straightforward. Did the government have a valid legal basis to admit this evidence, even though it was a fruit of the illegal warehouse search? The government understood the issue perfectly, arguing that it had such a basis. And I continue going on about that. And it's just so crazy that all of these things exist. These things happened. The government broke the law. Mm-hmm. But it's okay for them to do that. Yeah. And
they've been doing that since the beginning of time, though.
Yeah.
And they're not going to stop now.
The government has not been forced to prove certain things. And at the end of this, I just say, how can this happen here in America? Again, I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm only asking you to take the next step and ask for proof. Every single word within this letter can be proven and substantiated. I want help. I need help. My younger siblings need your help. I look into the eyes of a 10-year-old who only wants to have her mother back, and I have no good answers. I don't have the power to get these answers, but I know that you do. Please use your power to help the powerless. Use your influence to let truth and justice prevail. I'm not asking you to change the outcome, only to level the scale so that once again, justice can be blind, the rule of law be upheld, and that we can return to the values of liberty and justice for all. Because at the end of the day, that's what needs to happen. Yeah. And what's so crazy is, I did the whole Fox News thing. Mm-hmm. And I got some backlash for it. I mean, I got a heck of a lot more love than I got backlash. Yeah. I got it. I've done this before. Well, I got a heck of a lot more love than I got backlash for doing that. But this is no right-wing, left-wing issue. This is an issue that the American people should be concerned about.
Yeah, because if it happened to us, it can happen to you.
Exactly. That's the thing. And so the whole thing, it's just so sad that, honestly, it's sad that we're having to deal with this, that at 25 and 26 years old, we're having to deal with this.
Yeah.
Like,
It sucks. It sucks. But, I mean, and, like, the American dream is to build something that you're proud of, and then continue to build something with your family that you're proud of, and continue to grow and succeed. But you can only do that to a certain extent, because once you start making waves that make people in a position of power uncomfortable, then they will do whatever they need to do in order to silence you and to halt that and to put you down. And that's exactly what's happened with us.
Yeah. It's honestly sad, but I use it as, like, fuel.
Yeah.
I use it as fuel because I will fight like hell.
You're going to get those motherfuckers.
Don't talk like that. I will fight like hell, and I will expose the truth. 100%. That's the thing.
And that's what we just have to continue to do, and we're not going to stop.
No.
There's not 1 ounce of quit in any of us.
No, not at all. Because at the end of the day, I want mom and dad home. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what I fight for every single day of my life.
Yeah.
And also, let's fight for what's right. Because people love to come at us and say, oh, they deserve it, this, that, and the other. No. Do your research. Educate yourself. Read documents. And it's just sad because it's taken a toll on everyone. Mm-hmm. Like, it's taken a toll on Chloe and Grayson, Nanny, Papa, Nanny Faye, us. Like, it's not, and I wish people would bring more awareness to that. Mm-hmm. Like, the toll it takes on families of individuals that are incarcerated.
Yeah, the collateral damage is just,
it's awful.
Incomprehensible.
And the amount of people that I've had that have come to me and they're like, thank you so much for speaking out. Keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Well, when I was visiting Mom, it was right after you had gone on Fox.
Yeah.
One of the other women that's in there walked up to me and she was like, please tell Savannah that we are so appreciative of what she's doing and the way she's speaking out, because all of us in here finally feel like we have a voice now. I was like, she's been shutting my voice out for 25 years.
Shut up. No, that's amazing though, because it's tough. I'm not going to lie. It's
tough on us, but it's even tougher on them.
Yeah, but it's tough being a voice because, like you said, you start to disrupt areas that they don't like.
Yeah. 100%.
And there's backlash with that. And that's fine, because at the end of the day, I'm going to stand for what's right. And
you should change the name of your podcast to The Disruptor.
The Disruptor. Dear God. It's just, at the end of the day, I'm not the most educated human being in the world. But now I know better. And now when you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
And it's our responsibility to educate
and you've gained
ourselves.
a ton of knowledge. I think we all have.
Yeah.
But I mean, you don't go through something like this and not learn a bunch of stuff, you know? And you've obviously learned a bunch. We've all learned a bunch. But you've been on the phone. Like, you're understanding, like, the legal side of it now.
Yeah.
That the only people that you can have a conversation with that know anything, like, legitimate about this is an attorney.
Yeah.
And you didn't go to law schools.
No, definitely didn't. But I think when you're so personally impacted by something,
you got skin in the game.
Yeah, you got skin in the game, and you will do whatever it takes to educate yourself and try to change the outcome. Mm-hmm. And so it sucks, but it's, you know what? It gives us fuel.
Yeah, they got the wrong bunch, because we are not quitting.
No,
we are not quitters.
I will never quit. I don't care if I have to take this to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I mean,
will
it should.
Most certainly do that. So there is no quitting that's happening. We have a great team of people behind us that I'm so blessed and grateful for.
That's
And
just God working too.
it really is. I've seen God show up so many times. Just when I get to the end and I'm like, I don't know how I can do this any longer.
Boom.
Something happens. And that's something I don't take for granted. It's been a huge test of faith.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a huge...
For sure. I think with everybody. I mean, I know for myself, like it's, I mean, that's what that it comes to the point where like there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you got.
Yeah. And it's hard because
you'd be like, why?
Why? You keep asking why. And we haven't, maybe we've started to see that why. Because it's allowed us to be a voice for so many people.
And hopefully bring change.
Yeah, definitely bring change. And, you know, I was looking back the other day because I couldn't help but have the curiosity of like, wow, 12 years is a really long time for this alleged crime. Like, it's a really long time. And
There's people that have killed people that haven't been sentenced to 12 years.
Yeah.
And pedophiles that are getting
a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, less time than what mom got.
Yeah, it's sad. And so I started looking and I was like, there's something more to this. And I'm looking back at Dad's social media. And if you recall, back in 2020, I think it probably was, Dad starts becoming more vocal on his Instagram page. He starts calling out government officials. He starts posting audio recordings of these government officials. He starts to expose the corrupt nature that is Georgia.
Yep.
And
what's one way to keep him from doing that? Lock him up.
Yeah. I think, and it's just obviously people have their conspiracy theories, but when looking back at that in that time frame and knowing the thousands of hours of recordings that we have, and he's posting these things, he's calling out government officials, governor, calling out all these people, and then he gets the book thrown at him. He gets prosecutors asking for life thrown at him.
The prosecutors were pissed off that he got 12 years. They wanted him to
objected.
They wanted him to have like, it was like 17 and a half.
No,
when it finally went to the day of sentencing, whenever they put on their case, that's what they put up on the slide.
No, they put
You remember that?
17 million loss.
No, I know that.
But during sentencing, they asked for life. They were asking for life in prison. There was no 17. They were asking, it was $17.5 million loss amount that they have still not been able to prove. But they wanted life.
Yeah, I blacked out.
They wanted life. And so my mind starts to wander, why was the book thrown? And I think I have now found the answer to why that occurred, which I find to be interesting. And I think, I'm blessed to have the Office of Inspector General to hopefully do another report into why these things have occurred. And it's crazy. Never in a million years I think this will be our life. And now,
but this is just a small portion of our life.
It is definitely a small portion.
We have bigger and brighter days ahead of us. You know that, and I know that, and we'll look back on this and just be grateful for the lessons that we've learned.
Oh, 100%. Be grateful for each other, the lessons learned, and now we can hopefully move on.
Yeah, and I mean, throughout this entire thing, I think one thing that is really, I've really noticed is that now I will fight harder and I'm more loyal now to you and to Grayson and Chloe and mom and dad than I ever have been.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always been loyal to my family, but now, like, let somebody say some slick shit. Because I will you up.
Honestly, I love
There's no
the people.
breaking it, though.
No, there's not.
No breaking it.
There's no breaking it, and I love the people that we have in our life that have remained steadfast and loyal, and the amount of my friends and their parents that like continued to write mom and dad letters that like every single week some of them do, and it's the most amazing gift in the entire world.
And also an amazing gift is the people that are gone, that God showed us who they were and moved them out.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that would have just come back. I mean, because that shows that those people were not loyal. They weren't there. They were there for the wrong reasons. So that was going to come back to bite us in the ass down the road.
Yeah. I mean, you learn a lesson in everything. Mm-hmm. And this was our lesson, and we take that with us. And it is what it is. I mean, I'm not grateful for it.
I'm not grateful for it.
I'm grateful for the things that it's revealed.
Yeah.
That's for sure. So with this whole learning experience too, obviously, like, we're on our own paths to doing our own things, creating a successful life for ourselves. And like I said, God shows up. Like, God shows up. He provides. He has given such great opportunities for us to succeed. And so you obviously have been working on your podcast with John. And so tell us about that. And when I say John, it's Uncle John Daly.
John Daly. Yeah. John's been traveling a lot, so we kind of have to get in and do as many episodes as we can in a day and cover as much as we can.
Because you never know when you're going to get John back.
Or which John you're going to get.
That is very true.
Yeah.
But John Daly is like a golf legend.
Yeah.
But you got to keep in mind, people that are listening to this may not know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you don't know John Daly, you should look him up. Absolute legend. Legend in golf. Legend in life. I mean.
He like golfs barefoot, y'all.
Yeah. And honestly, that's the best way to golf. If you haven't golfed barefoot, you should try it. But yeah, so I've been working on that, and then I'm working on a show, a scripted series, and then doing real estate with you, trying to build that company up, and hopefully sail off into the sunset one day.
Exactly, right? Wouldn't that be amazing? Hey, I'm counting down the days for that.
Me and you both.
Counting down the days.
But no, it's
Adios.
fun. It's I'm excited. I'm really excited about the scripted series. I'm excited about John. I'm excited about all of it. I mean, and opportunities just keep coming to fruition that I'm very thankful for. I know you are too.
I know. I am very. Hey, life, and that's the thing, is it doesn't matter what you go through, you can find beauty in the ashes.
Yeah. Like,
it is possible. It may seem like life just sucks and nothing is going your way and you want to give up. But I can tell you from personal experience, when you choose to overcome it and not give up, God shows up.
Yeah.
God gives you the strength.
We weren't raised to give up. I mean.
No. But also.
But life will hand it to you.
Life will hand it to you. And when you feel like giving up, just keep getting up.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. When you feel like giving up, just keep getting up.
Yeah.
And things will turn around. And that's what I try to tell Chloe and Grayson. And, like, it's okay to have a bad day.
Yeah.
But you're not going to fall into it. We're going to get up. We're going to make something new of today. We're going to make it better. And it's going to be okay.
Yeah. You've always been really good about that. And then until you hit a wall.
Yeah.
And then, but you've always gotten back up.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like we all eventually hit a wall. And I had to tell myself, like, all right, it's okay. It's okay to, like, cry and fall apart, but we're going to get back up. And for that, I mean, I'm grateful for every hardship and adversity, because at that point you turn around and God uses it to your advantage. So he's strengthening us for a moment that he knows is going to be placed right in front of us.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't, I mean, I will keep fighting. I will not give up.
God will close the door, but he'll place somebody there to open a window for you. Mm-hmm. So.
That is so true. All right, so you're doing okay.
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
You know, Chase, he didn't give me any good juice.
What do you want? What? Just ask me the juice that you want.
No, it's fine. Well, guys, until Chase decides to give us some more juice, he's not allowed back.
I feel like we gave a lot of juice. I mean,
you don't give any personal juice.
What personal juice would you like?
Just anything for a tabloid to take and run with.
Oh, so that's what this is about.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep my damn name out of the tabloids, not in them.
Well, I mean, you know, fair enough. Until next time, maybe we'll have some more juice for you. But thank you for coming.
I'll tell you what, next time we'll set it up and I'll just do a tell-all.
See, that I like. That's a good idea.
That's going to take some planning, though, because I got a lot of shit to tell.
I'll even cut you in.
Oh, my God. Let's do it right now.
See y'all. Chrisley. No, I'm not going to say that. But
see us on TV soon,
shut up, Chase. All right. Until next time, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. And
thank you for having me.
There's more to come.
Yeah.